Hello, everyone. I welcome you to the sixth day, which incidentally is the last day of the summer school. It has been very exciting and interactive since day one. And today we'll be bringing it to a close for the summer school, of course, because in the future we'll be having series of events that some of you may still be interested in. So today we have just some brief talks, and then the post-school assessment and demographic questionnaire, which you are required to respond to on the CEST platform. So I will be calling on Professor Fimba to give a closing remark or address. Prof, over to you.
Okay, thank you once more. We are happy to have reached this day. And of course, as Christian Eze has already stated, our duty this morning is a very simple one. In any school, usually at the start of the school, a bell rings to tell everybody that the school is starting. And at the close of the school, another bell rings to tell people that the school has closed or has dismissed. So that is exactly what we are here to do, to tell ourselves that our FAST4Future Summer School on Astronomy 2024 will soon close. So on this note, on behalf of the project coordinator, Professor Franchi Fuvio, who is unavoidably absent here, I wish to thank all of us, especially you, the participants. In fact, the school was a success because you were there, and your presence in the school and active participation gives us joy and encourages us to continue with the work we are doing in this project of FAST4Future. At least it shows that people are getting interested in what we are doing, and we do hope that a lot of you will make careers in this astronomy and space science, which FAST4Future is advocating. So one of the major objectives of this summer school and FAST4Future is to foster collaboration among researchers and students in different higher educational institutions in Africa. So with this school, we encourage you to collaborate. You already have your contacts. Collaborate with one another. And also collaborate with the team of instructors that have shared their experiences and their knowledge with you. Collaborate with them so that you can be appropriately mentored. I'm sure that all of them will be willing to collaborate with you and will be ready to share their experiences and opportunities. So in this way, the younger generation of space scientists will grow and the future will be very bright. So having said this, I wish to thank all our invited instructors for making out time to come and share their knowledge and experiences with us in this summer school. And I do hope that each time we call on them in the future, that they will respond and come to our aid, just as they have done in this case. To you participants, you are very important to us. Just as I said, because if you are not here, this program would not be a success. But because we are here, we are sure that the program has succeeded. So we thank you so much for your time. It's true that due to some financial constraints, we are not able to do some certain things for you as a participant, but we do hope that in the future, there may be opportunities where some little incentives could be given to the participants. For instance, in form of maybe providing data for your internet connections and all these. These are possibilities, but we do hope that things may improve in the project, and maybe in the future, something like that could be in place. We wish to let you know that this our FAST4Future project is a long-term project, and a lot of other activities are lined up between now and the end of next year. And as part of our collaborations, we will be inviting you to some of these programs. And also, you already have access to our virtual platform. We encourage you to visit the platform regularly so as to look out for programs and activities that will be of interest to you. So each time you see such activity or any program that is interesting to you, feel free to log in or to contact us so that you will be given access to such programs. Now, as the summer school is closing, we have designed another questionnaire which you are going to fill out. These things are very important to us for record purposes. But even before that, in a school like this, at the end, the participants are given certificates of participation. We are going to do that for you. So in the coming days or weeks, you will be receiving your certificates of participation through the email addresses you have provided for us. You may not have it immediately today, but we promise that in few days, you will get them through your emails. But filling this post-school survey, as important as it is to us, just as a certificate may be to you. So directly or indirectly, the certificate may be connected with the filling of this survey. So we encourage you, we plead with you to fill out this survey so that we can use it to analyze the progress we have made and then to report back to the funders of these projects. Possibly before the end of the year, maybe around the mid-December, there will be another important program for some of us that are already into astronomy and space science research. We are going to host a workshop on Python programming. Of course, Python is one of the in things in science today, and we will host a workshop to guide the participants and the researchers on the use of this Python. So that may come up later in the year, but surely it will come before the end of this year. So just as I said, you can be checking our virtual platform to get information about this workshop and other activities. Just as I said before, for these certificates, of course, we received up to 300 applications to be part of this program. But of course, incidentally, as we all saw, the number that actively participated and registered for this program is less than 100. I guess so. So that you applied by way of filling the Google form we sent out doesn't mean that you have participated. So participation in this case means that you are registered for this program and you took part in it. Registration here means registering on our virtual platform. So by implication, what it means is that the certificates of participation will be issued to those that registered on the virtual platform, because that is our registration desk. And if you did not register, and I don't know how the platform is at now, maybe there will be a window for those that did not register for one reason or the other, that participated in this program to register. Check if such exists. You can quickly do that if you had not registered already, so that you will be part of those that will be issued certificates. So on this, the registration as it is, you have to use the passcodes and other information about this registration to access the platform for other useful information that may be interesting to you. So, but before we finally close, we have all seen how the summer school went, the participation of the students, or rather the participants. It will be important to us to have some elements of feedback from the participants, so that we can also use it to improve on future activities as this. So one or two words from the participants will be important to us. Feel free to tell us how you feel about this. If you are appointed to speak, we are all learning. So your feedback, the information you give us, can go a long way in improving the output of this project. So on this, I think let's briefly return to the anchor person, so that he can appoint one or two persons that can give us a little feedback on what they have experienced in this school, and probably what they want us to improve upon for a better school next time. So thank you once again. We are happy to be with you, and you are part of us. Our interest is to build a critical population of astronomy and space scientists in Africa, and we are all part of it. And we wish that we continue to collaborate to ensure that this field of study is made available to everyone in Africa free of charge. So thank you so much, and thank you for being part of the program.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Odo, for the wonderful closing remark. Before we go on to invite speakers from the participants, I may like to add few things to the questionnaire. The questionnaire, just like the previous one, is anonymous. And the questionnaire has two sessions. The first one is the post-assessment session. The second session is the demographic session. And in the demographic session, in all, is anonymous, just like I said. And in the questionnaire, you have the opportunity to also tell us more what you feel about the summer school and what you feel can be improved, and the things you also feel weren't properly done during the school. All these things, you can feel them sincerely because it's anonymous, and nobody will be seeing your name that you feel this and that. So don't be afraid, and you just have to feel what you have in mind and feel it sincerely. Then, but even though it's anonymous, we must be sure that you are doing something on the platform, that you've filled the questionnaire before we issue certificate to you. So you are supposed to fill the questionnaire. We will not be able to tie the questions to a particular person because we made it anonymous, but we expect to see that you are doing what you are supposed to do before we can issue certificates. So we encourage you all to endeavor to do that. And okay, maybe I'll give further details when we go to the time that we'll fill it. The next one, in terms of registration, if you've been participating here and uh, still not enrolled on the virtual platform, I think if we close it, you don't have to blame us because we gave a very long time, long period of time for people to enroll. Uh, or we also tried to assist those that had some technical difficulty. I think everybody that complained to us about having any difficulty, we try to resolve that. So by the end of this summer school, we'll be probably restricting enrollment, which means once the summer school closes, you may not be able to enroll into the summer school again. But if you already have an account there, you can access whatever thing that is already there. The videos will still be uploaded. I think the technical team are trying to sort out some things. Uh, you'll see them shortly. And since your account is there, you'll be able to access all these things anytime you get back to the platform. Okay, just like Prof said, we need 2 volunteers, even though you will be filling the questionnaires that's on the platform. We need 2 volunteers here from the participants that will probably give us uh, a brief, maybe feedback and possibly vote of thanks among the participants. So if you are interested in volunteering, you can just raise your hand. I will appoint you to talk. And also bear in mind that if you are a student, still a student, for instance, some of these avenues give you opportunity to talk, and the more you talk, the more you also learn how to talk in public too. Thank you. Edina, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, yeah, we
Hi.
can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Edina. I'm from Kenya. I'm currently in my third year taking astrophysics and space science at the University of Nairobi. So, okay, mine is to say thank you for this opportunity that you guys have provided to us, and especially because it's more of an African thing, seeing the African community rising in terms of space. Yeah, like putting the putting Africans in the space race, and I think it starts from here. Thank you for that. The lectures have been quite good, and I can say they have added to the classwork we do, more of like advanced or like deep, more of deep learning from the apart from the classwork, because it's the classwork is more of like surface work, but now this was more in depth, and it was really nice. Yeah, and also, yeah, I look forward to having more of this kind of summer schools with of course the African, as you guys organizing it and empowering each other. Yeah, I feel like that will take us really far, and these networks that we're making right now will go a long way to putting Africa somewhere. I think that is all I have.
Thank you very much, Edna, for your feedback. Then, Lucy, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very grateful. The summer school was really good. I appreciate so much. I'm from Uganda and I just graduated from Bara University of Science and Technology with Masters in Physics. That was last month. And this has been a very good opportunity to learn more about astronomy. And I believe everyone has appreciated. Uh, uh, just that adding on Edna's voice, it has really been very good. Just that I needed to highlight some more things about the lectures. They have been really good, but some of them needed more time, especially when you look at that radio astronomy and then the African astronomy, it really needed more time. And it was so good that you really need to go on and on. I don't know whether there would be another time to have this kind of thing. It has really been so good. And then another thing, I don't know how it can be done so that it can be more interactive, and then to student to lecturer ratio. I don't know how it can be done. Then the time was starting from, okay, in Uganda here was starting from 2, I think there is 11, from 2 to 4. I don't know whether it can be done in a such a way so that we can also utilize the morning time maybe, so that more time is given to some lectures. So I appreciate so much. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, Lucy, for the wonderful feedback. Actually, in terms of observational astronomy, I think yesterday, after the events, I was discussing with Professor Fimber. Maybe probably even in the future, we might most likely know how we bring up either seminars or workshops to discuss some aspects of this observational astronomy independently, like writing proposals, maybe planning observations and all that. Actually, observational astronomy is such a broad topic that sometimes they treat it as a course that runs into months in universities. But in a summer school, you definitely may not be able to treat it that way. So you try to compress everything within some hours. But we've taken note of what you've said, and we'll try to improve on them in some of our further arrangements. Thank you very much.
Then maybe another thing, sorry, which I've forgotten is about, I don't know whether it can be organized in such a way so that students can have hands-on. Some of us, we have never interacted with the telescopes. We just read theory. So I don't know whether it is possible.
Oh, okay.
Yes, please.
I think follow-up collaborations or discussions outside this, good enough. You have our emails and you have our, of course, the Slack may be expiring in 3 months, but even at that, the direct messages may still work. So after this, there could be follow-up discussions. Maybe you reach us via email and we discuss on how to improve on all this and try to know how we coordinate some activities that may grant access to some facilities that are accessible to us, at least in some areas.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So the next person, I think I said 2 earlier, but I'll have to take additional, if we have maybe up to 4 persons, okay. We've taken 2. Now we have 2 raised hands. We can take these 2, making them 4. So Jonas, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Professor. I'm Jonas Samuel Idara from Tanzania. Yeah, first, I would like to say thank you to all organizers for this school and all our instructors. Because, as you know, astronomy Africa is like a new area of interest, because you can see many countries are falling back in this area. We lack experts and whatever. So sometimes you can see, I can say my experience in Tanzania, you don't find even experts in this area. So people are struggling to study this area, including me. At undergraduate, I studied a Bachelor of Science in Physics and a Master's I studied BSc Physics. But now I'm looking for a PhD in astronomy. So you can see how this school, it is helpful to us who are struggling to learn what is there in astronomy. The good thing I have also got in this school, which I was lacking, it is the knowledge how astronomy is astronomy in Africa has been conducted by our ancestors. So you can say we are getting what is good for us, and also the important thing when we learn about the opportunities which are available, and also it emphasizes in opportunities. So we have heard about the available opportunities. So I say this school should continue, but I have some addition. My addition in this school, of course, we need some improvement. Especially, I can concur with Lucy. The time was very short; it was limited, so instructors were rushing to finish the things. So I think in the future, you can improve in that area to give enough time for instructors to explain what they have for us. Another thing, because this, I can say maybe it was like an introduction. So the next, I expected to also learn in techniques and let's say hands-on activities. I'm very glad you have spoken about another workshop which is going to run in December, which involves Python. Yeah, Python, I know it is a very good programming and it is very important in astronomy. For me, I have learned only on my own about the Python. So it is just like a struggle. So I hope also in that school or workshop, I shall be there. But one thing more, you were speaking here about restriction. We are going to close this school, and there will be restriction to be involved in this summer school. But what I can advise, I think it is better if we can encourage to have more people to be involved in this school in the future across the continent. So if we get more participants, I think it will be helpful in most areas, especially in these developing countries where astronomy is still a new area of interest. Yeah, so I think for me it is enough to say, finally I can say just thank you, and I hope in the future we shall get more opportunities to be involved.
Okay, thank you very much for the wonderful feedback. We have taken note of most of the things you said. Just for clarity. What I said about restriction to school, this is FAST4Future Summer School on Astronomy 2024. And since we are concluding the school today, we don't expect people to enroll into FAST4Future Summer School on Astronomy 2024. If we are, again, after today, but if we float another summer school, of course, there will be another summer school in 2025. Then we will put up another summer school in 2025 on the virtual platform and open enrollment into that. So if you're already registered on the virtual platform and you see any of those things, you don't need to register afresh on the platform, but you need to enroll into the program itself. So it's just like in a university where you're already a student and they float a course, you need to register that course before you begin to take the course. So this one is just, we are going to restrict registration so that people who didn't participate in this particular school will not come up again and register in the school when the school has already closed. But that doesn't mean that we are closing, that we won't be holding summer schools or whatever again. So whenever we have summer school, we'll bring them up and then we open enrollment into those ones. Then in terms of your, maybe I give a little advice in terms of your search for PhDs in space science, in astrophysics is a wonderful idea. And we thank you for your interest in astrophysics. You can get a lot of scholarship opportunities from some sites, but particularly in astronomy, you can easily access opportunities from AAS Job Register, which in most institutions lists the opportunities, PhD opportunities, postdoc, and other things in AAS Job Register. You can also, if you are looking for masters and some other things, you can also use get positions or emails from scholarship positions or opportunities for Africa. These are some of the channels that you can get information from. In most cases too, you can check the website of specific universities you are interested in. Some universities don't advertise in any of these places. You can check specific universities, check the admission timeline, and then you'll be able to apply. You have our email, and at each time you need any advice from us, we'll be very willing to help out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for clarification, Prof.
Yeah, then the next
Thank you.
person is Paul. You were raising your hand earlier. That's if you're still there. Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, this is
okay,
Tembapo.
go ahead if you are still there.
Okay. It's Tembapo from University of Nigeria, Soka. Yeah. I've really benefited from the summer school because it has enlightened me on so many topics in astronomy. For example, in cosmology, as well as observational astronomy, because we looked at photometry and also the ones that we were looking at yesterday. They really revealed the things that I am yet to know, because they appeared very new to me yesterday when I was looking at them, looking at the pixels and the like. So this has to continue. We shouldn't die, because it makes even people who are comfortable in their homes as if they know astrophysics, whilst in the actual sense they don't know anything. Because there is a lot that I'm sure everyone here has learned. Each day that comes, you learn something new. You even feel proud of enrolling for the same school. Because these online platforms, mostly, they are boring. But for this one that you are holding, it was very interesting, in an event that you don't even want to miss a second, because you lose out on on some information. So it was a very good summer school, I would say, and improvements can be made by extending lectures and so that the supervisors, they can explain more. And also for some of us who are new into astro, we might need to see the things that we are learning, more especially in observational astronomy. Mostly we just see things from you people have an opportunity to carry out the experiments using the telescopes. For us, we just see them and hear the explanation on how they work. So maybe with time, there can be improvements which can be made, and so as we can also benefit. Otherwise, I would really like to appreciate the effort each and every instructor had put in, and also the proper coordination, even in terms of time and everything. It was all very, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Paul, for your feedback. I think everybody is hinting on time. We'll take it seriously and know what we do about it. But I will still encourage you to probably maybe we may discuss with the instructors to also give some follow-up textbooks, either on Slack or on the virtual platform. There you can do some follow-up reading. Then we've taken note of your contributions and feedback about time. And in some of our maybe subsequent events, we'll know how we'll take care of some of them. I've put up the URL, the link to the AS job register on the chat. I'll also put it up on Slack. Then, and maybe the other opportunities for Africa later on Slack, you can access it there. Okay, thank you very much for your feedback. I think when you get to the questionnaire, you also have the opportunity to give all these wonderful feedback and suggestions. They will help us improve our summer school and other activities we'll be hosting. So the next thing we have now is the filling of the questionnaire. You already have access to it, and I think it's already accessible now. So you can fill it from now till, if you're already here online, I think the best thing is that you just log in there and fill it. If you're not here online, we decided to give the timeline from now till 11:59 p.m. watts. That means by the end of today, we'll still be able to collect the questionnaire from now till 11:59 p.m. And once it closes, we won't reopen it. If you didn't fill the first one, the preschool questionnaire, don't worry, just endeavor to fill this one. But if you miss both, then you probably may have yourself to blame, because at least this one has a very long duration. From now till midnight is enough for anyone to fill something that may just take about 10 minutes or thereabouts. Okay, so we will give 10 minutes and we'll remain online here. Maybe by 11:50, we'll be rounding off this meeting. So we're remaining online in case you experience any technical challenges while filling it. You can give us a shout out here and we advise you on what to do about it. But by 11:50, which is 11 minutes away, it's now 10 minutes away, we will wrap up here and bid you farewell until we see again in another event. So you can log in there and, okay. Aman?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
What is a proposal? Because you talked about proposals yesterday. So what is exactly a proposal in observational astronomy?
Okay. If you want to make observation with a telescope, in some telescopes you have just direct access, where maybe it's owned by your institute and is just for research, coordinated by the institute alone. In that one, you can just walk to the telescope, and considering whether the star is visible or not, then you can observe the star. But in most standard telescopes, as in world-class telescope, you have to write a proposal. And that proposal will be evaluated by time allocation committee. So in that proposal, you are trying to state the science, discuss the science you want to do with the star you are observing. Because these telescope time are very expensive. Although in some occasions, you may not be paying directly with your money. In some occasions, it's already covered by some grants or covered by some countries, and you are just writing proposal on your own to do your science. So what you do is that in that proposal, it has some stages. You have the scientific rationale, and in that, under that scientific rationale, you are giving a proper review or discussion of the project you are doing, and then the objectives. So it's as if you are writing a mini paper in that place to give a clear background of what science, of the science you want to do with what you are trying to observe, and the main objective of your observation. Then in the technical justification, that is where you begin to talk about the telescope, the instrument in the telescope, and how suitable they are to observe the star you're observing. And then you also talk about some other factors, like maybe other conditions you may need, like maybe some sky conditions that you may need in observation and all these things. Then in some sessions also, you discuss, anyway, that one may not need much discussion, but you discuss just briefly the nature of the stars and all that. But in that in another technical, in addition to the technical this thing that you discuss, you have to also be specific about the exposure time. James talked about blooming yesterday, and he told you about reducing the exposure time in case you have blooming, for instance. So if you want to observe a star, you have to estimate the appropriate exposure time. And if you are depending on the science goal, you may also like to know uh, uh, the optimal exposure time, optimal cadence, which is possibly the duration between these observations, so that you'll be able to get the parameters you want. So these things need details, and that was why I was discussing with Fimba after this thing yesterday, that we may most likely put up a workshop or a seminar where we will discuss observation proposal particularly. Because if you are good in writing proposal, you can write proposal from your listing, send it to a telescope, maybe in South Africa or anywhere in the world. If the proposal is accepted, then they can observe your star, and you just bring the data and analyze. You don't have to visit the telescope. A telescope can have two mode of observation. It can have a service mode. In that case, you just write a proposal that observe and send you data. It can have a visitor mode. In that case, you have to go to the telescope itself and then observe your star. Of course, James was saying that he didn't like optical because you stay awake in the night and all that. But going to telescopes and also making those observations is also one of the fun parts of an optical astronomy, of optical astronomy. So I think maybe in the future we may have opportunity to discuss these things in detail. What I just gave you is just a brief overview of what you see in proposal. But for you to write a proposal, you first of all check the call for proposal from that telescope. check the available instrument they are using, check all this information so that your proposal will be targeted to a particular instrument. Once he misses this, they will just throw it to the dustbin. Thank you.
Wait, so how do proposals help you get awards? Like the Nobel Prize?
Okay. How do you get a Nobel Prize? Is it not by writing maybe a scientific paper, or maybe if you are dealing with scientific Nobel Prize? If it's in Nobel Prize, Peace Prize is a different thing altogether. If you are dealing with scientific Nobel Prize, you are writing scientific paper. As an astronomer, if you're an observational astronomy, your observation, you are analyzing observed data. And for you to even first of all identify what you will do as a scientist, and then design the experiment and the observation is another part. Because if you didn't get the proper observation from the telescope, you may not be able to even meet your science goal. That's one thing. And why sometimes it's good for somebody to dream big, then it's also good for somebody to be practicable and know what is realistic. So that's why sometimes if you're writing a proposal and you write a bogus claim that is not feasible within the time frame you are saying this, they just see it as mere optimism, and that is not realistic. So in most cases, people that win Nobel Prize don't just come hoping to win Nobel Prize. They start with working on something they are passionate about. And by the work they do on this, they may eventually at the end win a Nobel Prize. But in the first instance, they don't set out to do these things, possibly because they are just aiming for Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize is just a kind of spin-off from their efforts in their own research this thing. Okay, I think that such further
Thank you,
questions may
Professor.
be sent to us via Slack. We don't have time again. So if
Thank you, professors.
Okay, thank you.
Well done.
So any other one short question? We can take any other one short question if we have any. Otherwise, in 2 minutes, we'll be rounding off this.
At midnight, this is due, right?
Yes, but if you're already online, I will encourage you to just go there and fill it now, because it may not take up to 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you, professors.
It's
Enjoy
all
your
right,
day.
because if you forget it later, then once it closes, it's already closed, and we may not be reopening it again.
Thank you, professors. Enjoy your day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other question or comments? Okay, since there is no other question or comment, so we thank you once again for participating actively, not just participating, but participating actively. There are some of you that I've observed right from day one, you were here, and not only that you were here, but you were right on time. And I thank you for that. It helps a lot to take whatever thing you are doing seriously. And because it helps, even though this is a summer school, some of you may not be astronomers, some may be, but in the future, whatever knowledge or information you got here might still be very helpful and useful to you, even if you are not continuing in space-related career. So I will bid you farewell and wish you well in your future endeavors. Keep close eyes on the SES portal. You'll be seeing a lot of opportunities there, and we'll also be sending you emails when necessary. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Good to go. So we are good to go.
All right, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yeah.